Hello, Fingerstyle comrades. We're back again with another segment, and I'm Patrick, and this week I want to talk about a concept that seems to bypass a lot of beginners and even intermediate players, and that is how to make really cool sounding chords. Now, I'm not just talking about chord progressions this time. I'm not talking about moving from one chord to another. I'm just talking about just a chord, basic chord, and the tones and the notes within them. And I know that some of you are probably thinking, well, don't I already make cool sounding chords? Well, all of us do from time to time, yes. But have you ever listened to a piece of music, not just guitar music, I'm talking about any genre, and you'll notice that in some songs, some of the chords just really harmonically stand out. They almost give you like this emotional boost or emotional high because the chords are just so three-dimensional. And so the question we need to ask ourselves is, how do we start making some of these robust harmonic sounding chords? And I'm going to give you some examples. Now, I'm tuned to a drop D tuning. So that's, for me, that's kind of like my standard tuning. So let's just take, for example, a normal E chord, just a normal cowboy E chord, like the oldest trick in the book, right? So this chord. And when you hear the tones in that chord, you'll notice that there's three different E's in there, right? The high E, the middle E, and the low E, right? Now, what if we took one of those and just shifted it around? Okay, so instead of, let's just say I took the middle E here and changed it up to an F sharp. Now you've got a chord that sounds like this. As opposed to just... So as you can see, it sounds a little more three-dimensional. I changed the mood of the chord and the color of it slightly just by altering that one note. So you can use just one note and change the mood of a song just by changing up one note. But let's go a little further than that. Let's take that same E chord that I just played and move it up 2 frets. Now we've got an F sharp. So here's what a regular F sharp chord sounds like. So you've got your F sharp, your C sharp, F sharp, and A sharp, right? But let's steal a couple of tones from the original E chord that we played. Let's steal these 2 notes, E and B, right? Now combine those with those 4 F sharp tones that we just talked about, move the chord up 2 frets, and you get an F sharp 11, this chord. Now, that is one of my favorite chords of all time. And if you've ever heard of the band Rush, the guitarist of the band Rush, Alex Lifeson, plays that chord, that same chord, in the opening tracks of the album Hemispheres. That's the very first chord on that track. So that's, Alex Lifeson also uses that same chord in a lot of other Rush songs. And the reason why is because it's just an awesome sounding chord. It really hits you over the head. It's just such a pristine sounding chord. It's very powerful. It's that F sharp 11. The cool thing is you can move that 1 fret down to an F chord and get those same droning E and B notes and have a chord that sounds like this. And you can kind of do that. You can move that same chord shape all over the fretboard and get some cool stuff. So there's that. Now, another way of really engaging harmonically with chords and chord shapes is moving the bass note, the root note in any chord. So let's say that, take that classic example of that chromatic walking down the C chord that you hear so often in music, and goes like this. So all you're doing is really just moving that, you're taking one chord and you're not changing any of the other notes except for the bass. You're just moving the bass around like this. So there's that. Now let's take a chord, for example, like a D minor 7th chord. And we can shuffle the bass notes around in that too. while just hanging onto the other notes. So the sky is really the limit with moving bass, just shuffling the bass notes around. Okay, so let's go a little further. Let's take like this chord right here, nice jazzy chord, which is like an A flat major seventh, right? So you got the A flat as the root. Let's move that root to a C. Suddenly you got a C sharp minor. Oh no, I'm sorry, a C minor. So you go from this A flat to a C. Suddenly you got a C minor chord. Now let's just take those three notes. Let's forget about the C bass. Take those three notes and remove the middle note. So you have a B again. You have one of those open strings in between those two notes, which it sounds like an A minor seventh chord. I love that chord. And you can shift that same shape and really experiment and get some cool stuff. Now, one last little thing here. Let's take a C major chord, for example, and let's forget about that C root. Let's go with these three notes. So that's a G, E, and a C. So you take that position, and you can move that position around in different places to get some really, really cool stuff like this. So those are just a few examples of what you can do harmonically with different chords. A lot of these tones are you're just moving notes past each other, sliding them past each other. A lot of them are interchangeable. It's really exciting. It's really wild, and it really opens the fretboard up. And you don't have. This is not a lesson in a lot of deep theory right now. I'm just explaining just basic stuff, how you can move different shapes around and different tones around. And when you swap out those predictable tones for more unpredictable ones, then that's kind of what gives you that emotional lift that I was talking about. You know, that voice inside your head when you hear one of those cool chords, you're like, whoa, what was that? Give me some more of that, like, you know, that kind of thing. So hopefully this may start to make you think a little differently and give you a little more of an edge harmonically on your chords, and you never know where these chords could land in your own music. So hopefully this gives you a path to forge ahead with, and hopefully it makes you have more engaging more engaging harmony parts in your own music. So that being said, thank you for watching. This is the end of this segment, and we'll see you in another video another day. Bye now.